Hello and welcome to Glorious Miniatures. My name's Jolyon, and in today's video, we're building this fantastic new Screamer Killer, the latest edition of Warhammer 10th edition. It's going to be a great thing to build. So without further ado, here's the instructions, and let's just get into it. So I'm going to fast forward the majority of this video. It's really just kind of an overview and a bit of a chit chat. However, we are going to start to chop some parts off relatively quickly. It's quite an easy kit to put together from what I remember. It's not too many difficult parts, nothing too much to stress about. Obviously just pay attention to what you're gluing and all that kind of stuff as per always. But that's all I've really got to say about that one. So let me start chopping these bits off, and while I'm doing that, maybe you could check out my website at gloriousminiatures.com. It's, as I've said many times, it's in its sort of first iteration right now. Maybe by the time you watch this video, it'll be in its second iteration. Who really knows? I will be having a resin print shop there. I have got a blog there, which I will be getting back to doing, and various other bits and pieces, but you're gonna have to check it out. Anyway, so we're working on the main torso. First of all, we've got the parts. There's like a little extra claw there you've got to be careful of, which goes on the left-hand foot part that we're going to do. That does get attached. We are going to fast forward through the majority of it, extra speed for the de-seaming process. In fact, I'm probably going to leave some de-seaming to do after the video as well, because frankly, this is rather tedious at best. However, it is giving me a little opportunity to chit-chat, and that's all I got to say. So this is a little claw thing. This goes on its left inner foot, and there is another claw for its other leg. So do be wary of those little bits. I think those are probably the smallest parts in this particular kit. And I believe it does share the sprue with the, I've forgotten what it's called, the Neuro Tyrant. I don't know, the floaty thing with the brain. And yeah. So I am very happy about this kit. I'm not happy about dripping glue on that cutting mat. The needle flew out again. I will be happy once this glue is finished with, though. So let's get this central sort of bit between the spines on, and I'm going to go behind it and fill the gap in with some glue there. As I was saying, I remember when the first Screamer Killer came out. I never collected it or anything, but I remember the model very well. The second iteration of it, or the Carnifex, let's call it, I really wasn't too keen on it. And then the plastic multi-part kit, generally I was put off by a lot of that sort of iteration of tyranids. I don't quite know what it was about them, but I didn't jive well with them. It's like, especially the Carnifex, the multi-part Carnifexes, I didn't really jive with. This is a sort of going back to the roots, and as a result, I'm very keen on this kit. I'm hoping there's going to be a sort of multi-part version of this kit at some point, and with potentially different loadouts. Well, this is like the Screamer Killer with the scything talons and the bioplasma, but I'm hoping if there is one with a sort of, like the previous iteration had a sort of long-range weaponry as well, so maybe this will have that as well in the future. I've got my fingers crossed for that. I love the style of this kit, and I'm really looking forward to building it, painting it. So there we go. We're just applying. This bit did need a bit of pressure on it to keep it together. I don't know if I'd removed enough of the peg, or maybe I put a bit too much glue in. Either way, it did need a little bit of pressure. You can see that gap down the front of its torso right there. So I will fix that. That does get glued together all quite nicely in the end. Just requiring some of that dreaded patience and whatnot, but we do get there in the end. And yep, so I've vaguely decided on the basing, as I said in the previous video, and that is a good time. Base is, you certainly, when it comes to the basing, you certainly don't want it to take away from the miniature. You want it to sort of enhance it as a whole, but I occasionally, I think in the past, I have spent too much time on the base and not nearly enough time on the actual miniature itself. So I like a relatively subdued base, I think, is what my general impression is on basing. Unless I ever go towards sort of competition painting, but frankly, that's a way away. So just getting rid of some of these sprue gates and things, which I didn't quite get with the clippers. This is a spine, I think. This is a spine. Oh no, that is it. Sort of, I don't know, groinal armor. I don't know what to call it. It's codpiece. So it's got one of those. That does go into place. And we're now working on its its right leg. Go and get rid of a bit of that clip there. A bit of that peg there. Glue. Put some extra glue along the seams. Any glue which is sort of like in excess will get sort of smushed out. And we can tidy that up relatively quickly with a bit of tissue paper or kitchen roll or something like that. There we go, getting that liquid glue just to flow into the crevices and just apply some pressure. Getting the underside of that leg there, and there's a bit around the butt which needs also gluing. Apply a bit of pressure for that, and remove that little peg there. I think I did have a bit of a struggle with putting this on. It was a bit of a weird. I seem to remember it was slightly weird, or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I am actually hallucinating. I seem to remember there was something off with that. Make sure there's glue in along all the bits where it attaches to other plastic, obviously, and whatnot. Apply some pressure, and then hopefully we can put this down and move on to the next bit. I wonder what the next bit's going to be. We know? I was tidying up, apparently. I was hoping it was going to be the left leg. Okay, so there's a bit more tidy up where the sort of plastic the sides join. Honestly, I'm going to spend most of, well, not this video, but I'm going to be tidying that up off camera. And here we go. We've got the left outer leg right here. What else do we have? We've got the left inner leg. Very nice. And we got the left sort of leg claw, which we're going to tidy up right now before we can attach it to the rest of the leg and get this kit put together. As I said before, this is not a complex kit. Not a complex kit. It's some large parts. There are a couple of small parts, which, like the two foot claws, maybe the sort of odd piece crotch armor, whatever you want to call it, and potentially the head. I believe those are probably the smallest parts. And it goes together relatively quickly. Not only that, its arms are sort of wide open, so it's going to be quite a nice miniature to paint. You don't have to worry about sort of getting the brush in sort of between, I don't know, between too many limbs and stuff like that. So it should be, I don't know, if you're nervous about painting your first kind of large kit, which isn't a tank or something, I would probably just recommend this straight away. That's what I would probably suggest, at least without thinking about it too much. It's probably, you know, it's certainly not complicated, technically. Let's get this claw in right there. I think a bit of glue did smush out there. Doesn't really matter though, it's a tyranid. It's all sort of goopy and, I don't know, mushy. Anyway, as you can see, there's other kits, bits of it, which does actually make me think that maybe there won't be another kit of this. We'll have to see. All right, there is the top of the head. And here is the sort of face, or at least there will be the face in just a second. Oh, just like that. Okay, that's like the face. And I think there is a sort of, maybe this is the other small part. I don't quite know. I think there's a sort of inner mouth bit, unless I'm getting confused. All right, there is the sort of tongue bit. Okay, that is probably the other smallest part of the kit. That will get glued to the inside of the mouth, inside of the face. and then that will get attached to the top of the sort of head. So, all right, I'm going to put some glue in to that top sort of peg hole, get the sort of mouth glued in, run some extra glue around just to be on the safe side. There we go, lovely jubbly, isn't that fantastic? And we're also going to clip off that bit of peg there. That is obviously going to... Oops, we need a bit more glue there. There's a tiny bit too much of a gap. I didn't quite tidy that up as I said I was going to. Oops, that was a bit of a disaster. However, not the biggest disaster there has been in my model building history, or indeed my modeling history. Okay, let's get this leg glued in. I'm going to make sure there is enough glue to go around. Smush some extra around. Get its left leg in place. Oh, there we go. Nice sort of dynamic, aggressive pose it's in. Right leg forward. Slightly turned body. Apply some pressure, keep that going there. Make sure we're not missing out at any other little bits. Bit of glue around the back there. Okay, so this is the sort of top of the head. I'm going to get rid of some of those pegs there. A bit of a weird fit, this thing. I seem to remember it's... I think I struggled for a second. I wasn't quite sure how it's sort of situated within the sort of... on the body. I was struggling a bit there. I couldn't quite figure it out. It sort of sits down against that sort of fleshy interior bit right there. So I had to get the angle right before sort of dropping it into place. We did get there in the end, thankfully, though. As you can see, and we added a little bit of extra glue along that seam there. That's something I definitely haven't, looking back at this video, haven't tidied up since. But I will go back and do that pretty soon. And here is the head. There is a little hole there. Get some more glue there. And then we can attach the face, if you want to call it a face, to the body. Right there. More glue. Easy peasy. All right. That's nice and easy. Now we have the four arms. The last sort of main bits of this kit. In fact, the last bits. There's one. There's another. There's another. And there is the last arm, if you want to call it that. So we are going to tidy up these seams. Just a simple case of running a blade safely, or a mold line remover along those seams, and that will tidy up the majority of them. Those mold line removers won't get into all the gaps and crevices, in which case you can probably use a blade like I do, safely though, obviously, or some sandpaper potentially, or a file, some variety. However, nice and easy to tidy up, no major issues. This kit's gone together pretty well. I haven't had any issues. That head was a bit of a confusion for me because I just didn't get the angle correct. There is a peg on those with a sort of aligning nodule on them as well, as you can see. So I get glue into both of those. That pretty much dictates and locks in those arms in the right position nice and easily. So just align them. Align them. I was just wondering which one to do first. I was concerned that one arm would get in the way of the other. To get that bottom arm in first, followed by the top arm. Nice and easy. We're going to quickly de-seam the right side arms, as right side pair of arms. That's not an issue, as I've said. But yes, I do actually have to order a whole load of texture paste for the basing pretty much today. After this video's finished editing, in fact, I'm going to be ordering some texture paste so I can get on with basing all these miniatures. Finally. All right. So, here we go. We are going to hope more glue appears. I think this is the last of the glue. I might be wrong. Fill up both of these holes with some glue. It takes a bit of a while for this plastic glue to actually fully sort of melt and do its thing. So you don't need to be, it's not quick drying like the other cement that I have. So get that bottom arm put in, followed by that sweeping top arm, just like so. Easy peasy. And that's that kit done. Look at it, it's fantastic. I will be getting another one of these. If they do a multi-part kit, I'm definitely going to do one. Absolutely love it. Definitely my favorite Tyranid model from the Leviathan box set. Maybe even all time. A bit early to say that now, I know, but look at it. Absolutely amazing. I would like to get a decent base done for this though. Maybe some sort of bit of tank or destroyed dreadnought. I don't know. What do you reckon would make good basing material for it? Don't say ultramarines. Think beyond them, okay? That's all I gotta really say though. I will be doing painting tutorials as much as I can, or at least the paint scheme that I end up doing for these kits. I will be doing a painting tutorial for that particular scheme, and hopefully I'll do more than just one miniature. If you'd like to see those tutorials, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and you won't miss those videos. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Goodbye.